Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Anchorage Ice Tigers Draft to Glory franchise mode here in NHL 23. And yes, we are back up here in the playoffs once again, but I feel like this is time for our team to probably maybe lose in the first round because of how good we played actually during the regular season. And I feel like after that, the window might be really closed in a sense where we might make the playoffs, but we might be always a first round exit, or we might just start missing the playoffs altogether. We only have a few more seasons left of this franchise mode, but we just came off a very good season, one of our best seasons, I think, in this entire franchise mode series. We went 58, 20, and 4. And you could say a big part of that is because we brought back a few former players this season. Also, we did lose Jorgensen last offseason, but bringing in former players like Bickle, who helped with the goal scoring ability, really definitely helped this team out quite a bit. And then also even Valery Zykov, who has dropped off considerably and more than likely is a retirement this offseason. He also picked up 54 points, so the depth scoring on this team was really good, and I don't know if it's going to be that good in the playoffs. Like, I really feel like we're just going to be destined for a first round exit, but you could see that everybody on our team was really good in plus minus. Nobody was below a +8, which is insane. So yeah, I think we're just definitely setting ourselves up for probably a first round exit unless Spencer Pusher could have a really good playoffs. He had a really solid regular season. Novikov wasn't so good, so he has a little bit of a short leash. And we do have two other goaltenders that we could always run into if we need to. But I do really like our team in a sense because it's a good mix of former players and current players, because obviously you got the guys that have been here for quite some time like Keith, Darby, Parrott, Hartnell, that type of thing. But you also have like guys that we just brought back like Bickle and Zykov, like I said, and youngsters that have only played like a few seasons like Vico and Bobkov. So I think this team definitely has a chance to win this first round, but will the game let it? I have no idea. So also hopefully like guys like Howes and Smith Pelly continue doing what they've been doing, because these two guys both aren't really that great. Smith Pelly has actually developed quite well this season, but both of them were really solid defensively during the regular season and also chipped in a little bit on the offensive front too. So it should be interesting to see if we can get out of this first round, because we are going to be taking on the Los Angeles Kings. And the LA Kings didn't have that great of a season, so that's where I'm a little bit worried. They are 8-2 in their last 10 games, which probably helped propel them into the playoffs. They went 43, 30, and 9, so basically 43 and 39. Well, we basically went 62 and 20, which is insane. So yeah, let me show you guys their lineup again just in case you forgot, and then we will get into this first round. But I honestly feel like we're going to be a first round exit, but if we somehow go on to win a cup this year, that would be amazing. But I honestly think our window is very close to being shut on us. But you can say this LA Kings team is actually pretty solid for the most part, so that's also what got me concerned a little bit. Their center depth isn't that great. That's the main thing I could draw away from them. But you see they have like Djordjevic, Guerin, who's always been up there for like Deselke, McLennan's good, Zhurdev is good, Renas is good. And then even a lot of these guys on the third line are good, especially a former player of ours, Jaden LaRose. We know that he can pick up points. He had like 50-something with us last year, I think. Yeah, 55, and he had 60 points this year with the LA Kings. So he can pick up points. And yeah, they have a solid fourth line as well. And then their defensive core, that's definitely, I'd say, their weakest point, but it also still is, like, I mean, not compared exactly to us, but our defensive core isn't that great either, so kind of we're a little bit even on that front. And goalie-wise, they do have the better goaltender in Emmanuel Petain, who we have played in the playoffs before when he was a member of the Seattle Kraken, and they also have a solid backup. So I think this is going to be definitely a tougher matchup than we expect to, because of the fact we had a great season and they didn't so much. I think it's definitely going to be a series that could probably go to 6 or 7 games. I don't see it being an easy sweep, but then again, we could get swept in this first round too, just because the game likes to shit on you after you win like President's trophies and all that type of thing. So anyways, let's get into game one. We got a home ice advantage, I think, for the entire playoffs, which is nice, but how long is that playoff run going to last? I really hope we could get farther than the first round, but like I said, if the window is closed, so be it. We've already won 2 cups in the series, and this is pretty much just wrapping up more players' careers and stuff like that. But this is a last chance to get guys like Zykov and Bickle likely Stanley Cups, because Zykov likely retires this offseason. Bickle might be too expensive to bring back, but I will try and bring him back if he is affordable. So anyways, let's get into game number 1 and see what we could do here on home ice. See if we can get some wins against this LA Kings team. First period of game number 1. And it's 5-1 for us. Okay, that's not what I expected. With them having a 91 overall goaltender, I thought they would do much better, but we scored 3 goals in the first 7 minutes of the game, pretty much. Zykov scores, DeMarchi scores, Glencross scores, Zykov scores again. He's a 79 overall now, but he's got 2 goals in game 1. That's crazy. And then Letty broke the shutout for them, but then Hagos answers right back. So 2 goals against already on their backup goaltender as well. And we're being outshot 17-8. So we have 5 goals on 8 shots. So, yeah, their goaltending is not doing too good so far. Even though it looked really good on paper, maybe it's not actually as good as it seems. So hopefully we could continue doing this, and hopefully we don't let them get back into this game, because I have seen that type of thing where you have a great first period and then the other team slowly gets back into the game, and then you end up maybe losing or just barely winning. Let's have a strong second period here, boys. And it is still 5-1. Okay. That's good. We're still scoring on 1/3 of our shots, which is hilarious. They have 25 shots and only 1 goal. So good goaltending so far from Pusher. Love to see it. Like I said, if he doesn't play good for a couple games, then we could always turn to Novikov. If he doesn't play good, I could always give a chance to like Volk or to Bissick, because I think we have both those goalies as depth options at the moment. Or maybe a guy in the minors has developed well enough to call them up. I don't know. But let's see what happens this third period and see if we can lock this one down here. It's been a strong showing so far. Even though we don't have a whole lot of shots, we've been scoring on our chances, and that's good. And defense seems to be playing pretty good. The goaltending has been solid here as well. So hopefully we can maintain that into game number 2 as Nyquist gets a goal for the LA Kings to make it a 5-2 game. And that will be the final in game 1. So all of our goals came in the first period, and we got outshot 34-24. But we end up winning. So I will take that. Nice game for Pusher. Let's take a look at these player stats. So Zykov from Bobkov and Vico, DeMarchi from Keith, Glencross from Hagos and Smith-Pelly, Zykov from Bobkov, Hagos from Glencross and Kalinin. Seems like similar lines were out there for most of those goals, if I'm not mistaken, because a couple 2-point players in that game, a lot of +3 players. Yeah, it was literally only like these guys that were mostly out there for the goals. Huh. Well, also Zykov too, but he was an even 0. Bouwmeester led in shots. That's kind of weird. But yeah, great game from Pusher. 941 save percentage. And the 3 stars, Glencross, Pusher, and Zykov. Let's go. That's a good way to start off this round. Hopefully we can be consistent and keep scoring goals, because I know sometimes when you have a really good one game and score a lot of goals, then all of a sudden your team's offense completely dries up. So I hope that is not the case with our team. Hopefully we can continue and cruise into the next game. We did actually play the LA right near the end of the regular season, lost 3-1. So I don't really know what the season series was like between the two of us. Let's actually take a look at that quickly. Add a little bit more time to this episode, because I'm curious on the season series. So we won one game 4-3. And then we lost 5-4 in a shootout. And then there was that last one, I think. Yep, so we technically were 1-1-1 against them in the regular season. And all the games were pretty close in terms of scoring. So that's a little bit of an interesting nugget of information. Let's get into game 2 and keep the team the exact same, because that was a textbook first game. We just got to keep our foot on the gas. First period of game number 2. And it's 1-0 them. Okay. That was what I was afraid of, because our offense has not scored since the first period now of game 1. And we've gone 3 straight periods without scoring goals. Now, we did outshoot them in that first period, so we are getting chances in this game. But it is a bit concerning that all of a sudden their goaltending is doing a lot better than it used to. Let's see if we could tie this game up at least in the second, or maybe even grab a lead. That would be nice. Second period. 3-2 LA. That's not bad. Bickle pulled us back into the game. Garandon restored the lead for the Kings. Bobkov tied it up again. And then a late goal by Bloodoff. And we're down by a goal going into the third, despite us outshooting them 29-23. So we're getting a lot of chances in this game. Can we find a way to tie this game up in the third period and maybe force overtime or get 2 goals to get the lead even? Who knows? Come on, boys. Got to play good defensively this period, and Reynas scores right away to make it 4-2 for LA, but Parrott answers right back. What's with Parrott in the third period goals in the playoffs? I swear this guy does that every year. Come on, boys. Let's get one more goal here and tie this up. At least our offense is still doing good, but the defense not so much in this one. Come on, boys. One more goal, please. Hey, let's go. Frederick Bickle, we bring him back and he scores with 43 seconds left to get this game to overtime with the shots 38 to 33 in our favor. Let's go, Bickle. That's why we brought you back to help us with the offensive scoring, considering losing Jorgensen was kind of a big loss for that factor. Who knows, maybe Jorgensen's in the press box watching this game because maybe he's like, maybe we signed him as like an assistant GM, even though you can't do that in this game. Let's see what happens in overtime, see if we could pick up a win here. Come on, boys. Let's get that winner. Who wants to be the hero here? I always like to call him Parrot, but I don't want to always expect Parrot because eventually he's going to retire and we win. And it's Howe is the rookie, I think. He's a rookie, unless it's his second year. I don't know, but still the young defenseman regardless. We win 5-4. We have now scored 5 goals in back-to-back games. And we came back from, I think it was 4-2 deficit or 4-3 deficit. But there we go. What a win. He had 43 shots on goal in that game too. So let's go, boys. Bickle from Claxon, Bobkov from Zikov and Vico. Parrot from Keith and Claxon, and Bickle from DeMarchi and Keith. And then the game winner, Howe, from Keith and Strachan. So Keith had a really good game, 3 assists, I think. Yeah, 3 assists from him. Bickle with a couple goals, Claxon with a couple points. Wow, yeah, Bickle shot the puck a lot in that game too. It's really nice to have Bickle and Parrot because both of them are really good goal scorers and they put a lot of shots on net, so that helps out a lot bringing Bickle back to this team, I think. Not a strong game from Pusher, but he got the win, so he will stay in net. But maybe he's on a little bit of a shorter leash. Bickle gets first star, Keith the second star, and Howe's the third star. So we have a 2-0 series lead. That's a textbook start, winning both home games. Now we got to find a way to win in LA on the road because maybe they're a better home team than they are on the road. I don't know exactly. But hopefully we can find ways to win here in LA as well. Obviously, I think we're going to keep the team as is. We have scored 10 goals in our first 2 games, and we've allowed 6. So the defense hasn't been fantastic, I'd say. But, I mean, obviously, LA has been a lot worse defensively. So here we go. Let's see if we can take a 3-0 stranglehold. Like I said, there could be always a sweep in the series, but I feel like the series still could go to 6 or 7. I think LA could easily take 2 games in their home building, but if we take one of these 2 games, hopefully we don't all of a sudden just lose 3 straight games and lose in 7 or something like that, because that would be pretty detrimental. Hopefully we just keep on the gas, like I've been saying. Here we go, first period of game number 3, and we're down 1-0, so similar outcome to last game, because we were down by 1 after 1 last time. Shots are in LA's favor, 9-7, so pretty tight period for the most part. I wouldn't say anything negative about that period. Just got to find a way to get a goal and get this game tied back up if possible. Second period, 1-1. Okay, that's exactly what I asked for. Hagos scores again. Hagos has been actually pretty good in the series. Shots are 20-19 in favor of us. It is a 1-1 game. Let's see what we could do here in this third period. See if we could grab that lead for the first time in this game. Come on, boys. Zhurdev scores immediately into the third for the Kings, and it's now a 2-1 game for them. Penalty kill, and we get a short-handed goal from Zikov, but they get a power play goal in the same penalty, and then Vico ties it right up. Jeez. Where is this surge of offense coming from? But what a short-handed goal from Zikov. That's a big one. It's nice to see like a guy that's 36 years old still putting in a lot of effort on the PK. You love to see it. And late goal from Ricardo Hartnell. And that is the game winner. We are up 3-0 on the LA Kings and 1 win away from sweeping them and getting to the second round. We have now scored 4 goals in each of our first 3 games of the series. That's crazy. We have 14 goals in 3 games. I feel like we're definitely going to be set up for failure though in the second round if we get there. So Hagos from DeMarchi and Kalinin, Zikov from Glencross, Vico from Bobkov, and Hartnell from Keith. Yeah, having guys like Vico, Bickle, and Parrot, it really helps with the depth scoring quite a bit on this team. Also Ricardo Hartnell, I should say, too, because he's a good goal scorer. He had like 50-something goals last year, not this year, though. But yeah, he gets third star of the game, and then 2 LA Kings players get stars, so we kind of stole that game from them. Let me take a look at the goalie stats out of curiosity. Not bad from Pusher, but once again, it was a little bit of a rough game. He hasn't really had a solid game yet. But the team is up 3-0 in the series, so there is no complaints for me at this point in time. Okay, well, I guess we're going into Game 4 already. The series is going by fast. This episode's going by quick, too. unless we randomly all of a sudden get reverse swept, because that, honestly, I feel like that's definitely something EA has up their sleeve, is a reverse sweep, because that happens a lot. There is a lot of 3-0 series right now, a lot more than I expected. Seattle's already up 3-0 on Vegas, Anaheim's up 3-0 on St. Louis, Florida's up 3-0 on Ottawa, Columbus is up 3-0 on Detroit, Philly's up 3-0 on the Islanders, and the only other two series are 2-1. That's crazy. There's probably going to be one reverse sweep at least in those bunches of series, my guess. Just because EA has those occasionally. I could totally see it. But let's get into game 4. Keep our team the exact same. Might as well, since we've won 3 straight games. Let's see if we could continue the way we've been playing, scoring goals, and maybe improve our defense a little bit here. First period of game number 4. Down 2-1. So that's probably our roughest first period yet. Vico does score a power play goal, which is nice, but they get 2 unanswered goals. Marchand and Zhurdev. I feel like I'm playing like the Columbus Blue Jackets in 2006 with Marchand and Zhurdev. That's funny. Shots are 15-9 in favor of us, so their goaltender might be having his strongest game yet. So hopefully we can find a way to crack into the goal scoring department a little bit in the second period, just because obviously we've been scoring a lot of goals up to this point, so it would be kind of not good if we're not scoring enough. So second period. Hey, okay, it's still within 1. Zhurdev makes it a 3-1 game, but Derek Keith pulls us back within 1. Once again, we're out shooting him 25-17. We just need to find a way to tie this up, and then who knows, it could be a brand new game again. Come on, boys. I get the LA at least taking 1 game into the series, so this might be that type of game. Come on, boys. Let's get this game tied up. Get it to OT or something like that. We have the goal scoring ability. We've been scoring quite a bit over these last 3 games, and Claxton ties it up. Let's go. I love that all of our old veteran guys are still doing well here in the playoffs. Like, a lot of them are like 34 and above, but they're still scoring goals. We're heavily out shooting them, so their goaltender is definitely keeping them in this game. And we're going to overtime in this game. Shots are 41-22. We did go to overtime in game 2 as well. This has actually been a really tight series the last 3 games. Like, game 1, we kind of blew them up a little bit, but the last 3 games have all been 1-goal differentials, so a lot closer than it actually looks on paper. Can we find a way to get the OT winner again and close out the series in LA and get ourselves to round 2? Come on, boys. Who do I want to call on? Let's say Frederick Bickle. I feel like he's going to be proven to score a goal here in OT. Let's see what happens. Come on, boys. Let's get that winner. We're out shooting them. Let's get that winner. Don't know who it's going to be. It could be even Vico or somebody like that. Penalty kill in OT, and they get a power play goal as McLennan scores. And yeah, I felt like LA was going to take that game because their goaltender just held them right in it for the most part in terms of shots. That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. So Vico from Hartnell and Bickle, Keith from Hartnell, Claxton from Keith and Parrott. Who took that penalty in OT then? What was it? Oh, it was a tripping penalty against our boy. God damn it, Avery. You're usually the guy that scores goals in overtime, not sits in the box. That kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Wasn't a terrible game. I don't really know if we should be changing Pusher, though, out. He hasn't really had a good game the last 3 games. Like, does Novikov deserve 1 game? Maybe to give Pusher a little bit of a break. Like, they've been really close the last 3 games. Like, we could easily be down 3-1 right now. That's the only problem I have with our team. Just based on the last 3 games being really close. Let's go back to goaltending here. And yeah, Pusher has had a little bit of a rough time here. I'm going to give Novikov the next game. See if Novikov has any answer for that. And I think we'll keep the rest of the team as is. Bickle is dropping off quite a bit now. He's down to an 83. I hate that. But we will keep the team as is, I think. DeMarchi's +4 on that 4th line. He's actually been really good. Because I was thinking about maybe putting in Lucic or Sabrin, but if Novikov doesn't play good, maybe we give Volk a chance. I don't really know. We're up 3-1 in the series, so we shouldn't overthink it too much. Avery Parrott is dropping off considerably. I do not like that. And he's actually got a ton of penalty minutes in this series. He's down to an 87 overall at 35. He better not retire at 35, because if he retires at 35, I am going to be kind of sad. Because I expected him to retire more at 36, but he has been dropping off more faster than I expected. He still had really good seasons, but his playoffs so far, he's normally actually really physical in the playoffs. I didn't realize that. but he's only 2 goals away from 100 career playoff goals, so hopefully he at least hits that if he is going to retire this offseason. But I would really like to get him another Stanley Cup because he's won 2 Conn Smythes at this point. He's already been probably a Channel Hall of Famer at this point, so really much hoping that he has a strong game here and gets us to that second round, because if we get reverse swept and then we lose some guys to retirement, it's going to be like a big slap to the face. So here we go, game number 5. We are on home ice now. We've won 2 games already on home ice. Can we close out this series with Novikov now playing? First period, 1-0 LA. I'm not liking this a lot. It's not a bad first period, at least good defensive play for the most part. Shots are 10-8 in favor of us, but their goaltenders all of a sudden kind of woken up a little bit here, and that's a little bit scary. Can't we find a way to tie this game up in the second period after Guerin's goal? Come on, boys. Second period? Still 1-0. Yeah, their goaltender is definitely woken up. I feel like we could honestly get reverse swept here just based on how this game is simulating right now. Shots are 20-17 in favor of us. It is a 1-0 game for the Kings. Can we tie this game up in the third period and force overtime again, or are we going to a game 6 after having a 3-0 series lead here? Come on, boys. Let's get this done. I don't want to be a casualty of a reverse sweep. I just don't. Parrott scores. Let's go. We were saying about him getting close to 100 career playoff goals, but then Djorvik scores right back for them. Power play for us. Come on, boys. And we do not capitalize. Penalty kill. And we get a goal late after that penalty kill from Hartnell. That's huge from Hartnell. Come on, boys. And we are going to another overtime. Damn, we've been to 3 overtimes with the Kings. They've been definitely doing a lot. They've been definitely having a little bit of a tougher... and they've been giving us more of a tougher time than in the past. Or not in the past, than I actually thought originally. But then again, when you win the President's Trophy or you have like 58 wins, when a team just barely squeaks in, somehow those teams are always the teams that give you guys like the most problems in the playoffs. But that's good to see. Parrott scored goal 99 in his playoff career. Will he cap off this game with goal number 100? That'd be a really crazy way to end a series. Come on, boys. Let's get that winner here, because if we lose this game, we're going back to LA and we need to win that game, or else we go to a game 7. Don't want that to happen. Come on. Let's get that winner here. Come on, boys. Hartnell scored late for us to get to this point. Let's get that next one. Come on, Bickle. Come on, Vico. I don't really know who to count on. Derek Keith, and we do score. And it's Ricardo Hartnell who tied it up late. And we win the series. And I was definitely a little scared that we were going to lose this series after that loss and stuff like that. But whew, we managed to prevail with a huge win on home ice in overtime. And we're going back to the second round. Let's go. So Parrott from Hartnell and Keith, Hartnell from Bickle and Glencross, and Hartnell from Bouwmeester, and Keith is the game winner. 3 stars in the game. Ricardo Hartnell, the first star. Keith, the second star. And Novikov actually had a really solid game. Gets 3rd star. That's good that Novikov had a good game, because now I could actually maybe rely on 2 different goaltenders in this playoff run. But yeah, that was a really close series for it to go 5 games, because we could have easily lost each of those last 4 games, because they're all 1-goal games. So I feel like we're going to have a tough time in the second round, but that was a solid first round for us. Let's take a look at player stats after round 1. Then we'll take a look at who we are facing in round number 2. Let's see what we got here. So starting off with our centers, Keith has been great, 9 points in 5 games. Hartnell's been great. He's had some game winners, 6 points in 5 games. Zikov, 4 points. Can't ask much more of a guy that's dropping off a lot. Parrott had a little bit of a rough first round, but I think he'll wake up a little bit in the second. I really hope, considering he is on the cusp of 100 career playoff goals, which is awesome. I think he's already my all-time leading playoff point getter, or goal scorer, if I'm not mistaken. Not point getter, because that's still Agostino, I think, but he might finish up as my best goal scorer in the playoffs. Claxon, 3 points, not bad. Bickle, 4 points. Vico, 4 points. Same with Bobkov. The depth scoring on this team, really solid. Darby had no points in the first round. That's a bit concerning of where he's located in our lineup. We need more out of Darby for sure. So hopefully he wakes up. And Glencross had 4 points. So in terms of the forward core, everybody had points, I think, except for Darby. Yeah, everybody had 3 and above points. So we had really good depth scoring in the first round. Just Darby, I don't know where he was at all. Defensively, every defenseman had points except for Ryan Danner. That's also a bit of a disappointment considering Ryan Danner led the defensive core in points during the regular season. He's more of our offensive defenseman, so he needs to wake up a little bit too. But good depth scoring throughout our entire lineup except for those two guys. And goaltending wise, yeah, both goalies. I mean, Pusher was great in game one. Kind of struggled over the last few games after that, but still won games. And then Novikov was good in that one game to close out that series. So I think we'll go back to Pusher for sure, but Novikov might get some more starts in the second round. Now the question is, who are we playing in round two? Might be the Kraken, which would be not great, or the Jets, or who's the other team up? The Ducks. But the Blues are still in their series. Let's see, who are we playing in round two? Is it a team we've played before? And yeah, it is going to be the Kraken, okay. I figured it was going to be the Kraken. They went 46, 31, and 5. So another team with an average record. Let's take a look at what this Seattle Kraken team looked like during the regular season and playoffs in terms of stats. Then we'll take a look at their lineup. It should be interesting. We have played the Kraken quite a bit in the postseason, so I think they still have Zhikov, our former defenseman. So they were the third best team in our division, way less points than us. Not a surprise, though. Goal scoring, we were better. Defensively, we were better. Power play-wise, they were better. So their power play seems to be pretty good. And their penalty kill was actually atrocious, at 77.5. But they did have 10 shorthanded goals. So it might be more offensive of a penalty kill. So there's that. In terms of the playoffs so far, how have they been? I think they swept the first round. We said against Vegas, right? Let's go to Western Conference action, make it a bit easier. Yeah, they swept Vegas, which is a big surprise because Vegas, I thought, had a good roster. I think. So, yeah, they went 4-0. They had 17 goals for. We had 20 goals for in 5 games. So, pretty similar offenses. Both seem to be clicking. Both goaltending similar, but theirs was much better. Their power play was insane in the first round. 4 for 10 for 40%. And their penalty kill was good. Our penalty kill was not good, which is not great considering they had a good power play. We're 3-0 on home ice. They're 2-2 on, or 2-0 on both home and road because they swept, obviously. So there is that. Both of us have had a shorthanded goal so far in the playoffs as well. Let's see what their lineup looks like because I am curious. I know that they have Boris Zhikov still. I'm pretty certain. But honestly, from the rest of that standpoint, I don't know if they've changed their roster since we played them. And kind of, Part Jacobson's still there. I think he's always been there. He's been a really solid player for them, so we got to watch out for him as always. Eric Culp, Bryant Buss, what a name. Vili Kopakari, Dane Welch, and Jackson Kidd, the former Vegas Golden Knight. Yeah, that's what I thought. I remember this guy. He's in his first season here. He was a -13 in the regular season. But yeah, I do remember this guy from the Vegas times. Because we have played Vegas quite a bit in the playoffs in the series. Third line, Trent Calder, Oleg Anisimov, and Tristan Parsons. Or not Parsons, what am I saying? Peros, goddamn. I don't know why that looked like Parsons to me. Oh, man, I can't read today, apparently. Jason Quirk, Javon Morales, and Michael Rankle. That's a weird name. Yeah, that forward core has some really good pieces, obviously, with Jacobson, Kidd, Welch, Culp. But with Korpakari in your top 6 and in this fourth line, it's a little bit weak. It's not terrible, though. It's pretty good for the most part. Defensively, though, yeah, this is probably where they have us beat because they do have Boris Zhikov, our former D-man. He's been pretty good there over the last 5 years. I don't know if he'll ever come back to this team because he is still signed for a few more years and he's making a buttload of money. So he might honestly just stay there. Gilbert Duret is also up there. They also have Noah Shattenkirk, Peyton Stevens, Brian James, and Ken Mellenby. So yeah, that defensive core, I mean, the top 4 is okay. The top 6 is a little bit weak, but who knows? They could still easily win a Stanley Cup because I've won a cup with a really bad defensive core. So, and then goalie-wise, they have Artem Teutin. Why do I recognize your name? Tampa Bay. You've only played with Seattle, though. Maybe that's why. And then Quentin Reinhardt is the backup. Depth-wise, they have Kip Ellington, Nikolai McGillney, and Dylan Yoshida. So, yeah, it should be an interesting first round. I don't know who has the better overall stats. We'll take a quick look at that. who has the better ratings. Wow, this is this game apparently is on my birthday of 2042. How old would I be in 2042? I'd be pretty old at that point. That is funny. Let me just calculate that because I can't do math in my head right now for some reason. I think I'd be like, I feel like I'd be pushing 50 years old. I don't really know. Let's see. Gotta do some math in my head because I cannot. Yeah, I'd be 46 years old at that point. So, yikes. That's a bit scary. Let's take a look quickly at their overall comparisons. So, what's our team overall wise? 95, 78, 84. So, we're pretty much pure offense. They are 89, 84, 86. So, they're pretty much the more balanced team. But we have the offensive upside for sure. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Anchorage Ice Tigers Draft to Glory franchise mode. So in next episode, we'll take it to round 2 against the Seattle Kraken as we look to continue on this playoff trend. Hopefully we could get further than the second round, but if the window is closed, so be it. Hopefully we just have a good second round in terms of depth scoring again. Hopefully guys like Darby and also Danner could kind of wake up a little bit. But let me know down below, and I'll see you guys next time.